So last night was the Super Bowl, and there were three huge surprises for me last night. First off, that fourth quarter comeback. Second, that my kids watched the entire game without complaining. Third, we got a little promo for the Marvel Disney Plus shows that I was not expecting. So today I'm going to break it down shot by shot and give kind of my thoughts on everything. If you enjoyed this video, check out this one right up here afterwards. It kind of contains my ranking of excitement level for the Marvel Disney Plus shows that they announced at Comic-Con. Be sure to share your thoughts down below in the comment section. How did this little promo change your level of excitement for these shows? As we go into this, I'm going to do kind of a whole shot-by-shot breakdown of the whole thing, and then in the last few minutes, I'll kind of share my thoughts on how my level of excitement changed. With that said, let's get started. So the first shot we get in here is of Captain America's shield stuck inside of a tree, and so when this commercial started, since I wasn't expecting to see anything like this, I saw that image and I was just went, whoa, I can't wait. What are we about to see? And right at this moment, because we were playing commercial bingo, my kids and I, my daughter walks up to me, stands in front of me, and she's like, Dad, what was that commercial we just saw? I'm like, get out of the way, we're about to have a Marvel commercial. She keeps trying to talk to me, like, please let me watch this. So she moves out of the way, and I missed a couple of things in there, but of course I've obviously rewatched it many times since then. But I saw that first image and was just pumped to kind of get my first footage of the Marvel Disney Plus shows. Then it cuts from there to Falcon kind of rearing back to do this big gigantic Captain America shield throw as we discover how the shield got stuck inside of the tree. And just immediately it was like, oh man, I wasn't quite sure how excited I was going to be to see Falcon throwing the shield, but seeing that little image got me very excited to see it. Then it cuts to a shot of a bunch of people skydiving with kind of the wingsuit type things. And then in the midst of him, you see Falcon kind of fly through and kind of just giving this vibe of this kind of spy show that we're going to get. And even though we saw him throwing the shield, we're also seeing him still doing the Falcon stuff. So not quite sure exactly how that plays out, but that's what makes it interesting to see. How does Falcon transition to now being the bearer of the shield? And we see a shot of Bucky holding up a gun to some mysterious person who we just see over his shoulder. Cuts to a shot, it's Zemo, and there's like bullets dropping right in front of him. All of this kind of setting up that we're tying back to all this stuff that we saw before, Civil War, the Bucky-Falcon dynamic, all of that kind of tying into it. No plot here, obviously, just some nice little shots establishing direction of where it's going, just a simple little tease. Then we hear a doorbell and it transitions to teasing us on the strangest of these projects that they've announced that I still have no clue what to do with WandaVision, but we hear the doorbell, cuts to a shot, black and white, Vision in like the cardigan, he's got a tie with that 1950s vibe, cuts over to Wanda, and once again looking very 1950s in black and white. And then it does like this quick cut through all these different images that we're going to see of there. And it just cuts real quick. So you have to kind of like go through it in slow-mo to catch just how weird they are teasing here. So the second image that we see of Wanda is like a 70s suburban kind of vibe with the clothes that she's wearing. And then it cuts to kind of classic Scarlet Witch costume. It looks, just from the shot that we're seeing with the lighting and everything, it looks like she's in cosplay. But then again, I don't know what we're seeing inside of all of this as we're looking at 50s, 70s, her in the classic Scarlet Witch costume. And so just in that lighting, anything would look like cosplay. So I don't know if she's actually going to go into action wearing that attire or not. But it's the classic costume. And then it has a shot of her in what looks kind of like traditional, not traditional in the sense of what we've seen her in casual appearance inside of the Marvel Universe thus far. You've seen her wear a lot of different things, but kind of her casual look, so it seems probably the present day version of her with just a normal shirt on. And then it goes to the shot of her that looks like a 90s sitcom where has suspenders on and kind of crazy big hair, so that look of 80s and 90s sitcoms. That's what it kind of looked like. So we see Wanda in a wedding dress dancing with cardigan Vision in a black and white once again. And at this point in time, like, I just have no idea what to make of this show because it's so different from anything we've seen in the MCU. Obviously, to say when you're like, yeah, it's going to be kind of, it's the MCU plus 1950 sitcom. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you just proposed to me. So immediately that's interesting. It's weird. It's different. It's experimental. It could be a disaster or it could be awesome. I mean, I have no clue what to make of it. But even just showing these images and like, what's going on here? Cuts to a shot of the 70s her kind of looking startled, like, what on earth did I just see? And then we have 50s Wanda, and she says Vision residence, and then the camera, and it's like in a TV, so it's like you're actually watching a sitcom of her saying Vision residence. It kind of does a zoom out and a cut, and you have them in what looks like kind of her in the present day attire, and looks kind of like they were falling backwards, but they put the shot in like forward motion, so it's like them kind of lurching forward towards each other. I have no idea what this shot means and what kind of trippy stuff is going on that this is how they're visualizing what the story is and all the elements. Once again, back to this idea of weird, trippy, not trippy, weird, strange storytelling of whatever this is. It's different. Then it cuts to a shot that looks like Captain America running out at a football game, maybe the Super Bowl. It's not Captain America, it's Wyatt Russell who's playing U.S. agent. Week 2 back, they released some shots of him in kind of his costume, and there have been other little things from him shooting on set, kind of military outfit, and kind of what's this new government-sanctioned version of Captain America that's not Falcon. There's a little tease of that from behind. Somehow I didn't know that Wyatt Russell was Kurt Russell's son until I was just researching to do this little video right here. Even though I knew the guy's name, I was like, all right, Wyatt Russell's that guy. Like, let me double check to make sure my little facts on it. I was like, wait, it's Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's son. I've been watching this guy in movies for years, and these small parts are starring in Overlord. Somehow I'd never put it together. It's Kurt Russell's son, even though his last name is Russell, and he looks a little bit like Kurt Russell. So, I'm stupid, but I just, without even knowing too much about the character, and obviously the dynamics, we know very little about all this, but just even the idea that we saw Captain America hand the shield to Falcon, and then U.S. government has this guy over here, you can see some interesting dynamics that could be playing in the series with that, and especially when you're showing this guy as the guy that's being run out on the field of the big game. Could be interesting to see where that goes. Then we go to just a quick little shot of Bucky and Falcon in a hallway. Not much to it. Then get another one of these kind of like just sitcom-y looking shots. It looks like all the 90s sitcoms that I grew up watching, except it's Wanda and it's Vision. You just kind of see this thing like just adding to the oddness of whatever this show is. And then it says, this big card appears on the screen, and it says Loki, shows him in what looks kind of like a prison outfit, and it has him saying, I'm gonna burn this place to the ground. That's our only little tease of Loki, which I think, means that they've been shooting these other ones a good bit longer, and Loki will be the last one released, so they don't have nearly as much to tease, but they wanted to give us something to make people go, oh, a Loki series. If you're watching this video, if you're someone that's subscribed to my channel, you're in the sphere. Like, all about these shows. You were paying attention after Comic-Con and following all the news. But to the masses, the 100 million people watching the Super Bowl, they don't know all that stuff. They know what Disney Plus is a little bit. They obviously know what Marvel movies are. And so for them, they just watching the game, and then suddenly, oh, look, a spy show inside of the MCU. Oh, what is going on with it's like a sitcom? And then Loki's coming back. I thought Loki died. Like, to a bunch of people, that might be their first introduction to like this idea that a Loki series is coming, and this idea that, very Loki, I'm going to burn this place to the ground. Who knows who's got him, but he's out to get them. And then it closes out with just a couple more shots. One more of 1950s Wanda and Vision. All these shots are very sitcom-y in nature, but they don't have a lot to necessarily comment about them. So another one of those shots, and then the final one we get is Bucky and Falcon doing the Predator handshake, just slapping the hands together, one of those maneuvers. So what did I think about these? What did it do kind of like for my excitement? As I mentioned, this is entirely intended as a tease to get the word out there, especially for those people that didn't know that these series were coming, to know, oh, wait, that show I just went, like, there's going to be stuff like The Mandalorian except for the Marvel? Oh, that sounds awesome. For those people that are just being introduced to it, just giving them that little bit of tease. It's not to like satisfy us, the people that follow everything, but it's to give us that little first look and then to tease it to all the other people and inform them that it's coming. And I think it did a great job of that, especially because, like, for me, I didn't even know this was coming. I wasn't expecting it. So it's just a very pleasant surprise. Even if the shots that we basically got in this are essentially promo stills in motion. Like, these aren't shots that there's like no real anything beyond what you would get from a picture. It just happens to be in motion. And so I didn't really necessarily move the needle on my thoughts on the different shows and my excitement level. The one I'm most excited for is still Bucky, Falcon. That's a spy show in the MCU. I think that sounds perfect. That seems like what makes sense to, if you're going to do a Disney Plus show, what's something that expands the world and takes side characters, puts them in the forefront, and you don't need the spectacle of an MCU movie, but you can tell a compelling story. You know, these two soldiers, spies doing stuff like that seems perfect to me. You can dive into the government stuff. There's all kinds of interesting things there. Obviously, Winter Soldier showed that. Civil War showed that. And we're going to do a TV series that does that. I love all of that. And then the other two, I'm the idea of bringing Loki back has never really sat well with me. They've done so many fake deaths with him that it's frustrating. And so they found a way with timelines and all that stuff to bring him back. Okay, granted. But sometimes you just want someone to die. Like, you want to have the finality, the consequences of war. You want that. And so that they're giving a TV show, I'm uneasy on that. Maybe when I see a trailer with the actual pitch, I'll get it. Obviously, I'm going to watch it. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. But in regards to would I have preferred Loki just stay dead, I kind of preferred that Loki just stay dead. Then WandaVision, this is just the wild card. I have no idea what to make of this. I can't really say that I'm like super excited because it just seems too weird and too different. And what I go to the MCU for is not 1950s sitcom, 1990s sitcom. It's not that. So when you're like, yeah, it's like the MCU, but as a sitcom, I go, I don't even know what you're telling me right now. Like, I know how you could do a short that would be really fun and funny, or make a series of shorts out of that. But a whole TV series makes me go, I don't know what this is, so I'm curious. You have my attention, but I wouldn't call it actual excitement. I'm excited to see a spy show with a couple of these side characters getting the spotlight. I don't know what to make of the other two. That's kind of my take on it. Likewise, if this Hawkeye show gets made, I'm excited for that to let him really get the spotlight. Characters like those characters, their power set lends themselves to a TV show, I think, pretty well. So I'm excited to go deeper into the universe with what you can do with a TV show with those types of characters. I'm so curious about the other two and where they're headed with it. Tell me what you thought down below. If you want me to go dig deeper into my thoughts on my excitement level, check out that video right over there. Thank you so much for watching, and keep talking movies too much.